And welcome to another edition of BCSN Sports Flash, where we talk to a lot of the outstanding athletes and great individuals in a lot of the different schools that we watch on BCSN. We're here today. We've got a sister duo. Actually, we just recently had one with the Rays from Anthony Wayne. Now we've got the Szmanias from Anthony Wayne, Taylor and Kailyn, who play tennis for the Anthony Wayne Generals. And I talked to you, Taylor, back in districts. That's exactly right. And, I talked to a lot of those girls out there, and some of them, they all did a good job, but some of them were more, anxious to get in front of the camera than others, and some of them just really took to it and you just weren't one of those. You seem like you'd been on the camera all your life, and
Thanks.
We did a really nice interview.
That was my first interview.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, you might want to consider this as a profession, although you've already told me that you're interested in the nursing profession, which is very admirable, and I would never want to change that, but maybe as a secondary option, you never know.
Yeah.
But I remember that interview because you were playing in districts, and I was asking you because it was your first time, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was saying, you're playing some great players. You played in the NLL champion in the next match, Balin Belbray, who you played really well against. And I said, is it nerve-wracking at all? And you just said that you really managed to keep yourself positive when you're out there on the court. And there's so many great players that could learn from that. That they might have great talent, but because of the mental part of the game, and they can't get over the hump, and maybe they get down on themselves, and it hurts them. Tell me about, again, just what you said about how you feel that you can pump yourself up and stay positive during a match.
It's important to pump yourself up and not get down during a match, because once you get down, then you ruin the match for yourself. If you stay positive, then you'll keep the match going strong, and whatever happens, happens. You'll play well and you'll win, or you'll play well and you'll lose to a better player, but you can always improve.
Yeah. So let's take that match you played with Balin as an example, because after we did that interview, you played her. And there were a lot of matches going on, but I was watching a lot of them, and every time I turned to where you guys were playing, you were getting a great rally and a lot of strokes going on, and you won a lot of points too that I saw, even though you ended up losing the match. So did you have, I would imagine you had opportunities to, it's one thing to say what you just said about staying positive, but it's another thing to do it while you're playing a really good player and things aren't always going your way. Did you have opportunities or chances to practice what you preach in that match?
Yeah, because I was down by a lot, and I just kept staying down, but I let myself get back up during the match by, I was losing the overall match, but each game I was getting deuces and deuces and deuces, which is important because I didn't let myself fall behind and just completely give up. I kept practicing. I kept serving as hard as I could. I kept trying to hit my shots and place them as well as I could.
Mm-hmm. Was it a big adjustment playing at a player? You were the number 2 singles player for Anthony Wayne, and here now all of a sudden you're playing not just a number 1 player, but the best player in the league. Was it noticeably a higher level than you were used to playing, or had you had a chance to maybe hit with some really good players before to get used to it, or how did you adjust to having such a tough opponent?
It's different going from number 2 to number 1, but it's not that big of a change just because Rachel Moses, I practice with her every day, and she was our number 1 player, and she plays really well, so it was kind of like playing her. But Balin is obviously a very good player, so it was a tough match, but I think I handled it well.
Yeah, well, you certainly did. And one thing I learned that day is that there's a lot of excellent tennis players.
Oh, yeah.
We cover the number 1 matches usually, which is natural, but I saw a lot of players at the other positions that really played well. Now, Kailyn, what about you? You played number 3 for Anthony Wayne, and you did quite well, but obviously between Rachel Moses, she gets that a lot, the way her name spelling is, and your sister, those are good players to play behind. So you probably got a lot of good practice time in against them too as well, right?
Yeah, me and my sister throughout the summer, we played a lot of the days, and I think it really made me improve.
So you guys play a lot against each other, I would imagine, right? So does it ever get hotly contested out there when you play each other?
We scream at each other, and we yell at each other, and we get mad at each other.
Uh-huh. So did you guys both start playing at a very young age?
Yeah.
Yeah. We just played with each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you started, and then you kind of picked it up from that?
Yes.
So you went to her practices and all that, and did you think, well, this looks like a real fun game, I want to play it too?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So how did you do this season playing for Anthony Wayne? You told me you had a pretty good year, right?
Yeah, I played well personally, and I was 6-1 in the NLLs, and I believe 11-4 in the overall season.
Mm-hmm. So that really prepares you well to hit with Taylor and to hit with Rachel and players like that, doesn't it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we were talking about some of the things that you guys like to do often. This is what I wanted to ask you about, Kailyn. Now, so you are on student council as a freshman, right? And you told me that you had to campaign for that position. So what did you have to do? Do you have to you said you made posters, gave speeches, all that. Tell us about what a campaign for student council is like. What do you have to do?
Well, you just have to put yourself out there. Like, of course, making posters and giving speeches. And you have to make the best speech you can.
So what did you say in these speeches? Vote for me because why?
I would make the school better, and I believe I'm a good organizer for dances, and
well, that's a positive.
Yeah.
How else can you make the school better? I take it there's some limitations, like you can't triple the length of Christmas vacation or anything, right?
Yeah, no.
But what other things can you do?
Well, we brought to school some organizations like the Canned Food Drive and other things to do around the community like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see a future. So you're going to continue sophomore, junior,
Yeah.
maybe even try to be school president someday.
Yeah.
Who knows? I just sense the potential in you there. Now, what about you? You play tennis and you try to play in some tournaments in the spring and summer, but you're in a lot of other activities too. What sorts of things are you involved with?
I volunteer at St. Luke's Hospital once a week just because I want to be a nurse when I'm older, so it's good experience. And then I also just recently got a job at American Eagle, so I'm there for a lot of my time. And then I'm in clubs like Link Crew, Yearbook, and Young Life. So tennis is just another club in my life, but I love it.
Yeah. So how do you balance all that and still get your homework done and
It's
all
hard.
that sort of thing, and meet the
I'm
interview
always
requirements
busy.
and so forth?
I know,
Yeah.
'cause you have to keep playing tennis to stay good. So I always have to make sure I have a balance with tennis and all the other things I do.
Yeah. So do you guys, are you hitting indoors right now, or what are you doing tennis-wise to try to keep from losing your edge on the tennis court?
We have to hit around once or twice a week at least. You want to try to do more, but just with how busy we are, we try to do once or twice a week. And then you have to stay physically in shape, so we try to work out by going on runs or other workouts like that.
What skills are you working on for next year to maybe get up to that next higher level? Because pretty soon you're going to be moving up in the lineup because there's going to be players that are going to be moving on, and then you'll have to do that. So what are you doing to try to get ready for that?
I'm trying to get a more powerful serve, and I'm working on the placement of my shots to improve my game.
Well, you do those things, and that's definitely going to be very helpful. What made you interested in there's so many. In fact, Caitlin Ray from Anthony Wayne last week, she said that she's interested in nursing, and there's been so many of them, and it's, as I said, a very admirable profession. What made you decide that you wanted to go in that direction?
I don't know, just one day, I just knew that's what I wanted to do with my life. I started working at the hospital just to get the feel for it, and I loved it even more, so I'm even more sure about my choice, what I want to do.
What sorts of things are you doing when you're working over there right now?
I work in outpatient, and then I go upstairs in outpatient. I just transport people around the hospital, but when I go upstairs, I'm more of a nurse's helper, and I get to go inside the rooms and talk to the patients and ask them what they need, and I'm just there for somebody to talk to.
You strike me as someone who would enjoy that aspect of it.
I love it.
Yeah. And it's very important, too, just to make the patients, obviously, they're not feeling all that great being in the hospital. So if someone comes along and does that, that really makes their day. Now, you said you're interested in the medical profession, too?
Yes, I am.
So you can find out from your sister what to expect, and maybe you can take a job like that, too, down the road. If you can balance that between tennis and your political pursuits, it'll be very, very good. Well, hey, it's been a lot of fun. I enjoyed talking to you last year at the district, so it's been nice to have a more expanded conversation here, and I'll look forward to seeing both of you on the court during the next tennis season.
Thanks.
That's Taylor and Kailyn Szmania on BCSN Sports Flash. Greg Franke saying so long.